Guys, it's Friday, March 16th, 2018. My name is Sean Patrick Hillman. I'm the CEO of Hill Story Marketing, and this is the Daily Mix TV. You know, I've been saying this for a while now. The overcrowded meal kit delivery sector is facing some serious challenges. There are way too many competitors. Now you've got grocers and mass market retailers getting in on the action. But there is a sign of hope. It looks like the category leader, Blue Apron, got the memo. They've begun evolving their business model a bit to address the market concerns. Now, Blue Apron will start selling its meal kits in stores by the end of the year, according to a report from the Wall Street Journal. The Journal reached out to Blue Apron, and a spokeswoman declined to say what retailer, but said of the stores, some currently sell their own meal kits. So that actually leads me to believe that it's more than one retailer and they're going mass on retail, which is incredible. But why would they do that? Your margins are much lower when you get into retail. Anybody who's watched Shark Tank knows, the advice from the sharks, stay away from retail if you don't need it. And when you get into a company like Blue Apron where you've got a food product, that makes it even more complicated operationally. Now, the question of why are they doing it, I think is very clear. The online food delivery subscription service reported 750,000 subscribers last month, down from its peak of 1 million last year. That's a 25% drop. That's a big number. You know, you always account for drop off and, a lack of repeat visits or repeat purchases in your business plan. But the reality is they need the impact of retail. At least I think that's why they've made this decision. When you go into retail, your cost threshold is much higher because your profit is much lower. You're not selling it for the same price, right? You're selling it to the retailer sells it and keeps the difference. So it's a little different in that way. But in my opinion, I think what's going on is that they are trying to get the impact that comes from physical store traffic rather than simply relying on the great marketing that they do. And don't get me wrong, they do a fantastic job. As an example, they have an incredible integration push happening right now on my pal Elvis Duran's #1 radio show, Elvis Duran in the Morning Show on iHeartRadio. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see Blue Apron introduce their retail partners into this integration that I'm talking about. In the interest of full disclosure, I should say, Elvis is an old friend. He's also a board member of Rock'em Rawhide, the charity that my wife Kylie and I co-founded to increase the level of adoptions of dogs and cats in shelters. The reason why I bring this up is, I love Elvis. He's an incredible man. He's so talented and just such a genuine person. He does an incredible job of promo on his show. For advertisers and brand integrators, he really does a phenomenal job. So yesterday, I listen to the show every morning. Yesterday on the show, Elvis was talking about a couple of recipes that he loved out of Blue Apron and that they actually may be selling individual meal kits instead of the subscription plan, individual kits on their website soon. So clearly Blue Apron is trying to evolve, test out some new product and programming, see what works, and then roll it out across the sector. Congratulations to Blue Apron. I wish more were as creative as they are in this business. Now, they say lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place. Someone may want to tell Snapchat that. Music superstar Rihanna called out Snapchat for running a sickening ad that asked users if they would, quote, rather slap Rihanna or punch Chris Brown, and that sent stock of the app's parent company, Snap Inc., tumbling by as much as 5% in trading yesterday. The shocking ad refers to Chris Brown's 2009 conviction for brutally assaulting Rihanna in a car. It provoked mass outrage on social media over the weekend, with some vowing to delete Snapchat from their phones. Quote, this isn't about my personal feelings because I don't have much of them, but all the women, children, and men that have been victims of domestic violence in the past, and especially the ones who haven't made it out yet, you let us down. Shame on you. Throw the whole apology away. You know what? It's incredible that Snap responded very early this week after the weekend tirade on social with such a blasé statement. It was more around, oh, well, it was a mistake and we're moving on kind of feeling. That's not what they said, but that's the feeling you got. Thursday, in response to Rihanna, they called the ad disgusting and saying, quote, it never should have appeared on our service. No kidding. As a publicly traded company, you need to be very careful about the statements you make in the public. You also need to pivot and adjust your protocols based on what's going on in the market. So the reality is that this is the second sell-off in Snap shares in as much as 30 days at the hands of a celebrity. Back in February, Kylie Jenner complained about the texting app's redesign, and that caused the company to lose more than $1 billion in market value. So I hope Snap has learned its lesson. God knows I will not be buying that stock anytime soon. U.S. media company Meredith Corp has hired advisors to explore a sale of Time, Fortune, Money, and Sports Illustrated magazines following its nearly $2 billion acquisition of Time Incorporated back in January. This just shows how Meredith looks at its business. They look at some of Time Inc.'s titles as primarily male-focused and not playing into their core strength of women's titles, which includes, Better Homes and Garden and Martha Stewart Living and Family Circle, that kind of thing. So along those lines, I understand them selling Sports Illustrated. I don't understand them selling a legendary title like Time, which is more news-focused as opposed to male or female in orientation. I think it's actually pretty even across both. Fortune and Money, could go either way, but if they do in fact sell these 4 titles, this is a great opportunity for a small publisher to really make their mark, put together the capital, buy these titles, and blow the doors off the business. I wish more publishers were like Hearst. We talked about this the other day with Apple's acquisition of Texture in terms of their ability to really diversify distribution, content, and demography. So hopefully Meredith is able to do what they need to do in order to grow their business. Now, for a little Flashback Friday, do you remember this?
It's your call. You can enjoy the fresh baked quality from Domino's Pizza or take your chances with the Noid. You can have pizza made to your order or...
The days when people used to call the local pizzeria Domino's or Pizza Hut are actually still here, believe it or not. That's right. According to a Civic Science survey just published, 42% of U.S. consumers prefer ordering pizza the old-fashioned way, by talking on the phone. Website orders were the method of choice for 22% of the respondents, while 8% like to order via apps. That's a really low number, which is interesting despite the fact that pizza chains have always been on the forefront of digital ordering. Pizza Hut sold its first online order back in '94. So they're increasingly investing in innovative and new technologies to help with operations, customer service, and delivery. So it's strange to hear this, but here's the best part of all of this. Generation X made up close to half of those who preferred online ordering at 48%, more than both millennials at 35% and boomers at 17%. That basically means that millennials prefer talking on the phone as opposed to going on the internet and ordering pizza. That's interesting, especially for a generation that is so obsessed with apps and online everything. So interesting development in the pizza sector. Tomorrow marks the 257th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade on New York City's Fifth Avenue to celebrate the patron saint of Ireland, St. Patrick, who drove the snakes out of the Emerald Isle. With over 150,000 marchers, millions upon millions of citizens get their Irish on tomorrow. Everyone's Irish on St. Patrick's Day, especially in New York City. Look, it's one of the most beautiful and incredible parades with so much cultural pride on display. I've been going my entire life, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. But if you're in the tri-state and you have access to WNBC and you can't get to the parade tomorrow, tune in to see Lauren Scala host the telecast for the 5th year. Lauren's great at hosting parades on NBC. Love watching what she has to say and what she does, because she does a really good job of explaining what's happening on the parade route. Lauren is famous for her food segments on WNBC. Does a phenomenal job. She's such a talented and really, really nice woman. So, Lauren, looking forward to seeing you on TV tomorrow. I'll only be at the parade for a couple hours, so I'll check out the rest of the parade when I get home. Tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day, guys. Have a good time. Slanche. My name is Sean Patrick Hillman. I'm the CEO of Hill Story Marketing. I'm also the editor-in-chief of the Daily Mix TV. Have a great weekend, guys. We'll see you on Monday.